Choosing a white wine. Choosing white wines depends on, again, how you're going to use your wine. If you want something fairly easy drinking, just for drinking, chatting to friends, you would choose, from any country, a light wine. In this case, I've got a Sauvignon Blanc from Chile. Light, fruity, very easy drinking, very pleasant, low in acidity, more fruit coming through. So typically a wine that's enjoyable across the board for most people, including fine wine people. Now, if you're not using your wine for easy drinking and perhaps you want wine for a meal, then there you choose carefully in terms of the level of alcohol, whether it's a rich wine or a light, crisp style wine, like a Riesling in this case, is a lighter, crisp, and off-dry style wine in many cases. Riesling from the New World, Australia and New Zealand are coming forward with beautiful wines, and wines from Germany and Alsace. You could go for classic wines. In choosing a white wine, you could go for Burgundies. Many people talk about Burgundy wines, and everyone knows Chablis. That's a lovely wine to choose for dinner when you're having fish, chicken, or when you're giving a gift. These sort of wines work beautifully because everyone recognizes the particular styles. You could be adventurous in choosing your wines. You could go for some of the beautiful Spanish wines coming out at the moment, from Rueda in this case, and this is a Verdejo Viura grape, light, crisp, very aromatic. Again, when you're choosing wine, and in this case white wine, think about what you like particularly. Think about things you don't like in a wine. If you like wines that are big and that are fruity, expressive, and aromatic, go for slightly warmer climate wines. If you like finesse, sophistication, and maybe this expression terroir, showing differences of the same grape variety in different areas, you go for something like a Burgundy. White wines come from all over the world, and it's just a case of the styles you like. One of the popular wines, certainly here in England at the moment, is a Pinot Grigio. Normally, Pinot Grigio, we think of it as a wine from Italy. However, some great areas are producing Pinot Grigio. This happens to be one from Australia. The difference between something like an Australian Pinot Grigio and an everyday Veneto Italian Pinot Grigio is that this has much more finesse, more aromas. And obviously you're paying a slightly higher price. Something like that will set you back about £10, £10.50, whereas a nice, easy Veneto wine will set you back at about £5 or £6. I would always, when I'm going to dinner, go to a wine merchant to get guidance on the style of white wine I'm going to choose. If I know what I'm making for my guests, I can get a range of white wines to use with the meal. You don't only have to have one type of white wine for a meal. You could start off with something light and crisp for the first course, a salad or fish dish, something like that, and then you can go on for something richer, like the Chablis, or indeed other parts of Burgundy. As you go further south, the wines become more expressive, much warmer region, and much more rounded. You could choose white wines with oak or without oak. The without oak promotes lots of easy drinking style wines, or wines that need a very clean taste to go with very natural flavored foods. If you go for a richer wine, like a nice Meursault, which got lots of oak in it, or even an Australian Chardonnay from the Margaret River, which is, again, a beautifully balanced, much more powerful Chardonnay, you can go with stronger foods, anything from chicken to tuna to even some red meats will work with some Australian Chardonnays. So generally, think about what you like in style, think about what your guests like, and also have in mind always the level of alcohol in the wine, because if you're going to have it at lunchtime, try and stick to wines that are very light, like the Chilean Sauvignon and the Riesling are examples, but all regions again do have light wines. And then if you're having your wine with food, you can afford to have a richer, a heavier wine. So that's how we choose white wine.